Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're talking about top tips on how to find a scholarship here in Australia. So if you're interested, keep watching. Okay, let's start with the basics. What is scholarship? A scholarship is basically financial support that an institution gives you in order to support you in your studies, whether it is in your home country or internationally. You can get a scholarship for a bachelor degree or a master's degree or your PhD studies. Something that you need to know is that there are different types of scholarships. You have full scholarships and partial scholarships. But what's the difference between these two? A partial scholarship covers a specific portion of your studies. Usually is 25% or 50% of your tuition fees. For example, I came to Australia under a partial scholarship to study my bachelor degree. On the other hand, a full scholarship covers your full tuition fees. And sometimes these scholarships may also include stipends or allowances. This is basically money that they give you to cover not only the cost of your studies, but also to cover your living expenses. Okay, now, but how do you find a scholarship? Many people keep asking me this because it is true, the process can be a bit overwhelming, especially when you've no idea where to start. So my advice is to first start with government scholarships and university scholarships. In terms of university scholarships, my best advice is to check the university website, navigate through it and try to find the scholarships tab. Usually most universities today, they have specific filters in your search in order to find the scholarship that is right for you. Remember that scholarships vary and you might not be suited for all scholarships. You need to meet specific entry requirements. There's also this amazing website by the Australian government where you can check all the different scholarships offered by different universities across the country. I highly recommend going in there, filtering by your discipline, the course that you want to study, and the different entry requirements for that scholarship. On the other hand, as I said, you have government sites. For example, some governments across the world, let's say the Australian government and the Indian government, have a specific partnership where they offer mutual scholarships. Sometimes this is not only at country level, but also region level. So you can have a look at that and you can see whether your country has this kind of agreement with the Australian government. There's also this website by Study Australia. You can go through it and check it out. And there are also websites by specific state governments. For example, in this case, the Victorian government as well features all these different scholarships available, specific to Victorian universities. As I said before though, be careful, because different scholarships have different requirements. For example, some scholarships are only for domestic students. What is a domestic student? This is an Australian student. Whereas if you are an international student, you need to focus on those scholarships offered only for international students. There are also a range of scholarships offered by both universities and the Australian government for those students who are experiencing financial hardship. Financial hardship means that you may not have the financial means to support your studies, but as long as you're able to demonstrate good academic merit in your previous studies or leadership potential, you may be able to get these scholarships. And this leads me to my other tip. You need to be aware that getting a scholarship is a competitive process. You're basically competing against other students all across the world who want to get this specific scholarship. And there's only a limited number of scholarships offered by the Australian government or by a university. So this means that you need to stand out. Your application for that scholarship needs to stand out. But how do you go about this? The first tip is that you need to build a portfolio of achievements, and you can reflect this on your resume and letters of recommendations. If you're applying for a scholarship to do a bachelor degree, some of these achievements can include amazing high school grades, so good academic merit during your high school studies. If you're applying for a master's degree, you may demonstrate that you got very high marks, very high grades in your previous studies during your bachelor degree. Maybe you receive special mentions. Another way to stand out in this process is through extracurricular activities. But what kind of extracurricular activities? Well, for example, maybe you were the leader of your sports club, or perhaps you do volunteering every year working with communities in need. Perhaps you had a gap year where you volunteered abroad and you had amazing life experiences, volunteering and helping other people or working on community development projects. If you are part of a social advocacy group for women or a climate change advocacy group, put that in your CV, in your portfolio of achievements, because that's a big deal. All this shows leadership potential. All these activities help you to stand out. These activities show that you're a person that cares and a person who's committed to making a difference in the world. And why are these activities so important? As I said before, universities want to see that you have leadership potential and that you are committed to using your studies to advance a social cause, to make a difference in the world. They want to reward those people who show this kind of potential. So when people come to me and ask, what can I do if I don't have good grades? Well, good grades are not the only thing that universities look at. You need to focus as well on those extracurricular activities you've been involved in throughout your studies or throughout your life. If you're applying for a scholarship to do your PhD, you may also have to demonstrate that you've been involved in important research projects or that you've published your research in a well-known, reputable journal article, or you may have to show the nature of your thesis during your postgraduate studies or your bachelor degree. And as I said before, letters of recommendation from a past teacher or from your supervisor really help as supporting evidence for your scholarship application. And another thing that you'll have to bear in mind is that most scholarship applications usually require you not only to submit a portfolio of achievements or your resume, but also a personal statement. And this is your chance to really stand out. So what is a personal statement? A personal statement is a letter or a cover letter that functions as an opportunity for you to tell the university why you are an amazing candidate for this scholarship. And how do you demonstrate that? You need to tell your story. Why are you so passionate about engineering or science or healthcare? What drives you? What motivates you to get involved in those extracurricular activities? What has motivated you to volunteer abroad? What lessons have you learned whilst volunteering abroad? How can you transfer all these amazing learnings into your studies? And how are you going to make a difference in the world through your studies? Why are you so passionate about this field? In other words, how can you show that your course of studies is actually going to help you to achieve these amazing career goals? In summary, you have to show your passion. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. It really helps the YouTube algorithm to spread the word and spread these videos to other people who might be thinking of migrating to Australia. Thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Bye.